Hey guys, my name's Michael. Just thought I'd do a little quick vid here of my new fishing kayak. The reason why I'm doing this is because when I went to buy this particular fishing kayak, there was nothing on the internet apart from some pictures. So I thought I'd throw one up so people can see what they're getting into. So this is the Pedalfish 13. Now it does have a smaller brother called the Pedalfish 10, and that kayak is comes up to about there, I reckon. It was the first generation from what I understand, and on that one there were some little tiny hiccups, nothing major, but apparently with this particular boat it's all been ironed out. Okay, so firstly I want to tell everybody that I am not a kayak expert. This is my very first fishing kayak. I've had a smaller recreational kayak for some years, but this thing is my first actual fishing kayak. I have had it out on the water already, and I have done some video of that, which will be followed after this. But tonight I just want to run through what this thing's basically got that's good about it and bad about it, I guess, that I find bad about it. So if anyone else is looking at buying one, they might have they can have a bit more of a closer look at it. So beginning with the rudder, that's the rudder there. You can see it's just got one screw there. That actually screws into that. So there's a hole just under here, see my finger, that goes up through the hole like that. Probably see it if I put it there. See, like that, and basically that just screws through there. Job done. Now the reason why it's unscrewed, and this is probably one of the down points with this particular kayak, is where that mounts. It's bordering on getting damaged without wheels on it if you're dragging it around, or when you're loading it on the top of your racks or wherever. It's kind of bordering on being damaged. So the easy thing for me was just to take it out, and so the guy at the shop actually said to me that would be a smart move. Other disappointing thing with this kayak, it only has one dry well, and that is, up until yesterday or a few days ago, that was the only access into the hole. So originally when I was wanting to put my transducer in the hole, wanting to put it up the front, that was the only way I could get into the hole. So I think they need to have a look at that and maybe give us a whole heap of different areas where you can access inside the hole. Moving on, seat, super comfy, very easy to take in and out. Just slides forward like that, just screws down, locked in place, same as the Pedalfish 10, no different, but apparently this is a little bit comfier on this particular kayak. Getting to the very cool part of this kayak, unlike other pedal kayaks, this one is actually a pedaling kayak, like a bike, and basically it is a little bit heavy, but this thing works like a treat. Out on the water, smooth. I got up to 4 knots the other day in a headwind, a really strong headwind and choppiness, and she was just cruising along like I had a little electric motor on. Very simple to put in and take out. Simply just lift that lid off. There's a latch here to keep it locked in, and that just lifts out like that. As you can see, it's very heavy, which tells me it's made out of some pretty good material. That can just slip back in. You're in shallow water, pull her out, and you can paddle your way through it, which I had to do the other day, which you'll see. And then getting to the top, that's just another well, and then that's my new dry well that I've put in. getting to that point, as you can see, I've made some modifications already to this kayak that'll suit me. So firstly, thanks to the guys at Freak Sports, I bought some safety stuff, light and flag, so I don't get run over. By the way, I'll just mention this, I did buy this kayak from the guys at Sea Kayak at the Gold Coast, and they were really good guys to deal with, so if you're looking for one, they're the guys to go and see. Yeah, so I've put that on. Obviously one of the most important things to put on was my fish finder, and as I said, I bought from Hobie the shoot through hole transducer setup, so I can with the the goop and all that sort of stuff. Then I came across this, which I think's a big tick in the box for this kayak. It actually has a scupper hole at the front here. As you can see, I've already mounted it. And I've put a scupper, Lawrence scupper mounting transducer mount in there. But the extra awesome thing is that I'll get down here. If you can see my transducer is mounted there, nice and firm, nice and solid. The great thing about this hole is it's concaved, so as you can see, it's pretty much going to be able to sit there without me having to take it out. And yeah, job done. Don't have to worry about it, just got to be conscious of it when I'm unloading it and unloading it. But other than that, I think it's going to be pretty protected and safe there. So that was a big tick in the box, finding that. That's the propeller once it's sitting in the hole. Looks pretty cool. Okay, so obviously wiring up my Lowrance fish finder was always going to be tricky, because one, putting it in so it looked tidy, neat and tidy, was a big thing, and also finding a spot for the actual fish finder that was well out of the road and I was going to be happy with. So with the Hobie transducer mounting kit, you get some special plugs, screw-in plugs here, so I use those and they're great, they're an awesome product. All my wires concealed in there, so that's all the wires coming out. That's the power wire that goes to the battery setup that comes with the Hobie kit. And then here you can see where the other end of the fish finder comes out, and that just pulls in and out, so I can keep that tucked away and safe. So the other next big thing was where to mount my fish finder. There was places I thought here, somewhere that it was direct, and then I didn't realise it, but initially, but then after having a little bit of a look around, on top of this pedal system, there is it's a threaded screw right on top. I don't think you can see it, but then there's a nut, and using a platform, I screwed it on, put it on, and pretty much voila, my fish finder is in a perfect spot. When I'm sitting in the seat, see it perfectly. It's not getting too wet up there at all. It's sort of out of the road from everything. It's not going to get caught on anything up there. So pretty chuffed about that, let me tell you. So yeah, so that was a win there. Now the only other mod that I've done on this kayak, and I'm sure you've already noticed it as I've been walking around, when I was out on the water the other day, although this kayak is quite stable, for me, I'm a pretty big guy, I'm looking for something with a bit more stability. So obviously I looked on YouTube and came up with outriggers, or stabilisers as some people call them. Now, like most people, I followed the instructions of mounting them on the top deck, on the deck of the kayak, which you can see there. I've had to plug up the holes. I did that. I then actually put it in my pool and gave it a test, and where they were mounted here, it actually worked quite well, but there was a lot of flex, and I really struggled to get the angle right to get them in the water. So although they worked, and when they were pulled up out of the water, they just looked untidy and messy, like the ones do. So I stood back and stared at my kayak for about half an hour, and then I basically came up with this design straight off the side of the hull. And it's not been an easy design to, sorry, I should say it is easy if you're handy at doing little jobs like fiberglassing. But my stabilisers, just so you know, they're just 4 crab floats, PVC pipe, that's it. Put them down, filled them up with some expanding foam where the gaps were, and painted them, and that's it. Now these were the same stabilisers as I had working up here, so their flotation was plenty enough to give me decent stability. So in thinking how can I make this easier to operate and keep my boat looking half decent, I came up with mounting it off the side of the deck, and they're just at the water level, so I'm guessing the water level is going to be about here when I'm in it, somewhere around about here. So they're already going to be in the water. You don't have to lower them in; they're just going to sit there like that. And using a rod holder that I bought, you can take them out nice and easy like that, and all you've got to deal with is that. So I think it's great. And if you want them up out of the water while you're paddling, you could also run them like that. It's up to you, you know. Now, I know what you're thinking. You can either use them that way to stabilise, or undo this, bring them out, straight, and use them like that. And that's how I'm going to be using them. So that's going to broaden your centre of your kayak. And it's not a huge amount of float, but trust me, it's all you need. I really don't think you need to go any more than that, because originally when I had them on, they were working quite well. So the only thing I noticed is I was worried that this is getting pulled out. So to combat that, which I haven't got a light for you to see it. Oh yes, I do. So to strengthen all that and make it so it can't pop out, I've cut an access hole here. As you can see, I've fiberglassed that whole area in there, and on this side as well. So fiberglassed all that. Tomorrow I'll pull out the screws, I'll put some bolts in there with some big washers, and that'll, once that fiberglass packs down, man, it's going to be hard as a rock, and you know, that's going to be nice and solid, nice and stiff, and it ain't going to rip out on me. So yeah, pretty happy with my how all this has worked out. I haven't seen a set of stabilisers yet come off the side of the hull, so I'm wondering if anyone else will follow suit, because it really will work. And I even believe, as they are like that, they'll give me some, they'll still work as a good stabiliser. They'll still be making the craft a lot more easier to stand up and move around in. So yeah, and to finish off these holes tomorrow, I'm going to put a backing plate in, re-fiberglass it, get all the strength back here, fiberglass it all up, sand it up, and it'll come up like a treat. And yeah, job done. Won't know the difference. Anyway guys, so that's it for me. That's my Pedalfish 13, thanks to the guys at Sea Kayak at Gold Coast. Apart from a rudder that has to be taken out and the need for a few more accesses to the bottom hull, this kayak I'm pretty chuffed with it. Pretty happy with it on the water. Works well, and like I said, stay tuned because there'll be another video coming up of me out on the water, and you'll see how well this thing actually gets along. Alright guys, have fun out there, take it easy.